Hey everyone, welcome to the show. You are live on BROfessor and Friends. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. And we are live on BROfessor and Friends. I have Ben and Brandy with me from Off-Road Recon. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. What's going on, everybody?
Well, I don't know about where you are, but here it is hot. And, anything that we can do to not be outside is
Yeah,
something good to do. So we are inside. I'm inside my house, and y'all are inside your vehicle because that's where you like to be. And we're just going to talk a little bit. What do you think?
sounds good. May not have been the best idea to be in here because we can't run the air conditioner full blast, but we'll make it through.
Oh my goodness. Well, we've been trying to get y'all on the show for a while. We've tried to schedule, and my schedule messed up, and then we tried to do it again, and it was a heck of a time getting you on here. But I'm excited that you're here because we met. I can't remember. I think it was at the bonfire that we met. We camped pretty close to y'all.
Yeah, possibly, or maybe the first More Expo, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all were there with your rig. I remember at the bonfire we were camped down in the swamp after
Yeah,
that first torrential rainstorm. It was
yeah.
just knee deep in mud and slush and all that, and it was a good time. I remember kids being everywhere,
Everywhere. Yeah, run
everywhere.
around the tent first thing in the morning, screaming.
Oh well, Legacy Outdoors was there, and they brought about half the state of Arkansas with them. So it was.
That's
I
the
had them on the
truth.
show a few weeks ago. They got a whole passel of kids. So
Yeah, they need
with
that
them and
fan.
everybody else's, it was a super time.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, we've got, and if you'll notice on your screen, I'll be able to put up the comments that's down there, and you'll be able to see those. So if anybody that's tuning in live wants to ask a question or make a comment, we can put that up on the screen and take care of it right when you come on. I appreciate you being here. And so, Ben, Brandy, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's get to know the people behind Off-Road Recon.
Yeah, so we've always been super family oriented, even before off roading, and I know it seems like everything we do probably is that way, which pretty much it is on and off the camera.
I don't know what you were talking about before off-roading though, because I feel like that's been
Yeah, we've off roaded forever.
our whole relationship.
Before we off roaded on
Yeah.
the channel is what I mean.
Yeah,
But
before the
going
YouTube,
back, yeah, going back a long time ago, like we did side by sides and ATVs and things like that. We started off on ATVs, but yeah, ever since that, I can really remember that's always been a way for us just to get out. Like we like getting out away from the electronics, which is kind of ironic for a YouTube creator because we kind of live off of that. But get away from that stuff, get out in the woods, and that's one of the best ways to do it. And deer season's a big thing for us too. Like we go deer hunting and stuff like that, and that's just another way to do it. But unfortunately, you can't deer hunt all year long. You have to do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of our background and how we got into it. And I kind of had a marketing thing that I wanted to do, and I saw that in my future, and I'm like, creative, social media, marketing, those things all kind of go together. So, let's start a YouTube channel, and what is it, been a couple of years, here we are.
2 years.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, if anybody has ever got on your Instagram or your Facebook or your YouTube channel, you know that you have really kept the roads hot in the last few years. I don't know if you documented everything before 2 years ago, but the last 2 years have been pretty amazing. You've seen some pretty incredible things, and we want to talk about that here later on in the show. But tell us where are you located out of? Where's your home base?
So we're literally kind of right up in the Seymour area, right around where S'more is. Everybody knows where S'more is if you're an off-roader.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're probably 10 miles from S'more. We're out here in a little town called Mansfield, and we bought some property out here that we could kind of get back into the woods and put a gate up at the front and kind of hide out back here. So that's where we are. We like the small town, and when everything gets crazy in the big town, we come hide out here. So
yeah. Well, Mark says we know Ben's the funny one.
That's for sure.
He's funny sometimes.
Brandy
Yeah.
helps a lot with that.
If you watch the videos, he likes to kid or joke around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Used to, I started off doing pretty much all the editing, and
so,
like the last 4 months or so, like Brandy has played a big part in editing. But we literally, I just say we do everything together. I'm not just saying that. Like even the editing, like she goes through it, and then I go through it, and then she goes through it, and then I narrate, and she narrates, and so like everything is teamwork, 100%.
Except for social media, I don't do any of that, but you do that part.
Yeah, I do all the answering on social media. She probably wouldn't want to answer a lot of that stuff.
Okay, so if we send a message, we know who we're getting, so that way we can keep it clean and make it geared towards you. All right, well that's cool. Well, it's great to have y'all on here. It's great to finally get a chance to sit down and talk with you and visit, and we're going to do that right after we pause for station identification.
Hey guys, it's Chris from More Expo.
Aaron with Switchback Outdoor Safe. Rhino from Rhino Belt Rod and Custom.
Hey, Jeff with Bad Act Adventure Co. Jeremiah from Overland Pioneer.
I'm Chef West.
Hey,
it's Adam at Step 22 Gear.
Jordan from NSM Overlanding.
I'm Bruiser.
Walker from Autotronics in West Virginia.
Hey, this is Aaron from Artemis.
Hey, I'm Tyler with Yoda Adventure.
And you're watching.
And you're listening and watching.
You're listening to.
You're watching
the BROfessor.
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 BROfessor and Friends.
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 Enjoy.
That's always fun to get people to come on there and act like a goofball, and it works out well with the old banjo playing in the background.
Where does scissors thing come from? What is that?
The bro pose.
Oh, is that what that is?
The bro pose going on. Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing that for about it's been about 9 years now that's been done. Pictures have been sent to me from at least 7 different countries. People sending me that, so it's kind of famous,
cool.
and I'm kind of hurt that you don't know what it is. But we'll just move on.
I've seen it a
cry
lot.
later.
I mean, so I'm looking. I just didn't know what it was.
It all started out several years ago, and my wife told me to do something dumb for a picture, and I did, and it stuck, and so I'm the funny one of our group too. So it kind of works. So
signature.
You need to develop your own signature pose, and that way everybody will know you from that pose. Just a suggestion. I'm figuring your channel will explode if you do that. So
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. That's all.
Time will tell.
Tell us about got some big news. Do you want to do a world premiere of the off-road Recon new purchase, or do you want to wait and save that for one of your things?
I think we kind of hinted at it a little bit. I mean, so we went to buy the new Bronco, and we went and test drove it. It was a Wild Tracks, and I love the Bronco, very cool. But I just feel like there's stuff that they need to perfect, things they need to fix. We got in, and there were some issues already, and hadn't even been driven off the lot. And didn't really have a great experience with Ford. And we have this F-150, and I don't know what it is, but they act like they've got some kind of secret weapon there with that thing, and they watch you like a hawk when you want to drive it or you want to do anything with it. And so anyway, long story short, we figure we are so in tune with the Jeeping community, and the JK was just kind of getting us, it's getting to an age now where with as much traveling as we do, the last thing we want to do is get stranded on like a mountaintop or something like that, which
just happened.
Yeah. And which would probably make a great video.
Yeah.
But so anyway, long story short, on the way home from Ford, we stopped at a Jeep dealership and bought a brand new JL Rubicon. And so when we come to the Jeep events, we'll be driving a Jeep. We do still have a Bronco on pre-order. And I'm not sure what the plan is. We've got another Bronco sitting right out here next to us, an old Bronco, the F-150, and now the Jeep. And we still have our other Jeep. So we have too many vehicles and not enough drivers is kind of our problem right now. So that's the big news. And we'll probably, our first open event will probably be Jeeps on the Mountain. And we'll have it there. And hopefully we have a ton of sponsors that are getting involved in this build.
Yeah, I saw that y'all were going to be there and make an appearance. Everybody go with her.
Yeah, we're really excited. Rob Dodd and his wife Jody are putting that on, and the whole thing has just been a great experience dealing with them so far, and we haven't even made it to the event. So hopefully next year they plan the dates a little bit better, and it's not on the same weekend as the Rendezvous in the Ozarks, because that's going to hurt a little bit, but we'll just see how it goes, and we're excited to get to that event also. What do you think?
Okay. Well, good. Well, good. Well, I don't have a very good internet connection. I don't guess. I don't have a very good internet connection, so we're going in and out, but hopefully it'll get better here in just a little bit. I don't know if it's on my side or your side. It says that my Wi-Fi is unstable. So it's happened before. Maybe it'll get better here in just a little bit. But
we never have unstable
if you didn't hear, we did premiere of they just bought a brand new Jeep, so they're out there building that. My Ben's out there been sweating all day around the Jeep. So he told me that was part of his day. But Mark joins in. Do you still travel with school starting homeschool, or will you school affect your travels and videos? How will you do that with your kids?
Can you hear me now? Is everything coming through all right?
Oh boy, I don't know. This is going to be bad if we have a bad internet connection. May have to start over. I swear. It was working just fine when we started. Well, they're gone. They're gone. So here I am.
I'm coming
by myself.
Back. Hang on.
You're back.
You got it?
He's back.
I switched internet.
I'm bringing him back.
I hope that helps. What happened?
I got your sound. I don't have a video. We can hear Ben good, but you are sluggish. Well, it looks like that Ben, can you hear me? Hopefully he can come back. I don't know what happened to my internet. Chad, can you hear me better now? Because it came up that I had bad internet connection there for a little while. David said I hear them. Yeah, I think it was on my end. But they're gone. Maybe I can get them to hit the link and come back, and it'll be better. It says it's better now. So maybe everybody in my neighborhood just got on at the same time. I don't know what's going on. Add to the stream. Are you there? Are they there? Yes, good now. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate you commenting on that. Much better now. It says it's better now. We can hear you both. Thanks, Bats. I appreciate you. So I'm going to remove them and make sure tell them to hit the link and come back on, because hit the link and come back. Okay. So I texted them. Maybe they can come back on here. I'm really interested to know about this, Mark, what you just asked them, because here they are.
Hello.
All right, you're back. I think that was on my end. I think everybody got home from work
I
in my
thought we were
neighborhood and
coming to,
got
like,
on
a
the internet at the
professional
same time.
streaming channel, but I'm not so sure now.
Hey, man, I'm in my mom's basement, so don't judge me. Don't judge me. I work like Chris from More Expo. I'm down in my mom's basement, so that's the way it
we
works.
heard you the whole time.
But
You just couldn't hear
what
us.
we were talking about, Mark came on here and asked about how you're going to school your kids when you travel. Do you homeschool, or will that affect your travel? How will that work?
So right now we're basically back to normal. So ironically enough, Brandy's a teacher, so she's teaching right now, and we don't really know what the future holds just yet. So everything's kind of up in the air right now. It has to make sense financially to be able to do this all the time, but right now we're just going to try to kind of plan trips. I mean, we're busy all the time, so we both work full-time jobs, and then we come home in the evenings and do the stuff with that, and then any 3 or 4 day weekend we'll head to Florida or something. So it's like it's crazy. We'll leave like Friday night after work and drive 12 or 13 hours, and then make it home Monday morning for work. So I don't know right now, but we'll continue to do the trips that we can do that are close enough. So and we'll save Alaska for
I
the
feel
summer.
you.
That's the plan. Everybody always. Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah. Yeah, I can still hear you. It's just cutting out on my end, and I don't know why. I've never had this much problem before. I'm gonna text my wife and see if she can work on the internet while we're trying to do this. The internet sucks. Help. So she's in there feeding the grandbaby. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, it's kind of prime time hours.
Oh, man.
You're probably getting home from work and logging on their internet.
Yeah, it probably is. But we try to do this at the same time every week, but I've never had it this bad before. My wife works from home, so sometimes when she leaves her computer on and connected to her computer down in Little Rock, it kind of drains the internet. So that might be part of it. I don't know. You never know. But sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's the way the internet is.
That's right. You got to deal with it.
We can blame it all we want, I guess. You just got to deal with it. But tell me about your new rig. What do you have planned to do to the new jail?
Well, so we're not 100% sure where it's going to lead. Right now, we're kind of just keeping the door open for like sponsorship type things and doing that. And I mean, so far already, we've got so much stuff coming in the mail that I'm not going to be able to keep up with installing it. But about the only thing we pulled from our Jeep and moved over to it was our tires. We just put new tires on the Jeep. So we've done that. But, the first thing will be our camera equipment. We got to get all that in there.
Yeah.
We like to have a pretty professional setup in there for audio and lighting and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be able to get that done soon. And then I'm working on onboard air, and then we're working with a new company called Priest Precision, and they make like their own version of the power tank. That was the first thing I actually installed in there. And boy, I used that today. And man, you can fill a 35-inch tire up in no time flat. So those are super awesome to have. Yep.
That's cool. Did I see that you're doing a giveaway with them?
Yeah. So probably pretty soon. We've had so much stuff going on. I haven't even had time to shoot a video with the equipment that he sent us. But once we have time to do that, we'll announce the giveaway officially on our YouTube channel. But we're giving away like a whole kit. Priest Precision kit is going to come with a 10-pound CO2 tank, hoses, tire chuck, and everything you'll need to fill your tires up with CO2. So it's like a $500 or $600 value. And look, I mean, like, we're a small channel too. Like, we're not very big yet. So all these giveaways and things, I don't think I know any other channel that's our amount of subscribers or less that does as many giveaways as we do.
The other day he said we should give away our old Jeep, and he was trying to get me to raffle it off. I'm like, no, we can't do that. So yeah. giveaway crazy.
That would be great. I think that would be awesome.
I've got a whole.
We could do it right now.
But
he was talking to Kevin from Light Bright though, and apparently there's a lot of tax things, and it would
Yeah,
cost us
so-
like $10,000 just to give it
not
away.
yeah. So we would give our Jeep away, number one, and then we have to pay like the government $10,000 to do a raffle on a vehicle. So it's like, it's just nonsense, the crap that you got to go through.
Oh,
to
wow.
give
Yeah.
something away. We missed.
You're right.
Something a minute ago in chat.
You're right. That is complete nonsense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, that's cool. So, what about the F-150? What plans do you have for it? Are you going to keep doing it, or is it just a daily driver? What's the story with it? How do you use both the rigs?
I love the F-150. The F-150 is going to be our overland rig that we hop in it and drive probably to mostly connecting states to Missouri. Sometimes we'll get outside of that. But we do have some things that might be changing with our whole overlanding style soon. And we're going to be working with an overland trailer company, and they're wanting us to drive one of their overlanding trailers. So when we do that, we'll probably pull that behind the Rubicon. So we'll be doing some of that also. And but I love this F-150. It's so comfortable. As the kids are growing, they got plenty of room in the back seats. And I mean, there's just nothing better than overlanding while you're getting a back massage. And Jeeps don't have that.
And it's nice you can put everything you want in here. There's plenty of space for everything we want. So
yeah, I mean, this thing's loaded down. I had to put air ride in the back just to carry all of our gear. I mean, we've got like a tailgate and go, and I don't know if you saw those, but at the Moore show, but it's like a big metal box with all your kitchen needs in it, and I mean, we're packed to the gills in this thing, and you just can't do that in a Jeep. So overlanding mostly will be in this, and off-roading will be in the
you're
Jeep.
right.
That's the plan.
Okay. Well, that's the plan. That sounds good. Well, let me ask you this: in the world of overlanding, everybody has a part of it that they like better than everything else, and so in order to get to know everybody, overlanding is really one of those words that encompasses so many different things, whether it's off-roading, rock crawling, camping, travel, cooking. What would you say is your favorite part of it?
I think, and this just in general, not necessarily just overlanding, but it's like disconnecting from the day-to-day. Like getting out, getting in the Colorado mountains, and I'm not a planner. We just wing it. I may come home Friday night and say, hey, you want to go to Florida? And we'll just load up and head for Florida. So that's the spontaneity of just hopping in the truck and hitting the road and not knowing where you're going, find a place to camp. I mean, we've overland camped in freaking Cracker Barrel's parking lot. So, I really like that, like the spontaneity of it and getting out and disconnecting.
The urban landing. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I love the urban landing. That's always fun. Yeah, I love the travel and seeing the different things. I talked to somebody the other day that showed me all the places on their Google Maps where they had dropped pins of all the things that they wanted to see, and all you could see in the United States was pins. It was so much to see and so much to do. It's incredible.
So actually,
Chad wants to know: have you ever? Yeah,
we actually we've started doing this whole thing on our website now. I don't know if you've seen our website lately, but like we've probably got to the point where we put more time and effort into our website than I would say even YouTube a lot of days. We're starting this new maps on Gaia where you can follow our routes and you can see us, and we do exactly that. We drop pins of areas that we've been at or where we've camped, and we're even plotting it out and telling you how many overland vehicles you can get in a certain camping spot. And so I mean, we've put a ton of time, a ton of work into it. You can actually go on there and see all the maps. And when you go to the United States map and you click on a certain area, it will show you all of our videos from that area and our Gaia maps and things like that. So, I think it's, everybody should download some sort of map that way to kind of track your trail and where you've been. And that's, to me, a really cool part too.
Yeah, I did check out your website yesterday and a little bit today when I was prepping for the show, and I really love how you've got it set up by state, where you can go on there and click by state, follow our routes by state, see where we go by state. I love that because somebody like me who's planning on going to a particular place, I can click on that state where I'm going and see everywhere you've been, all the routes that you've been, the places that you've been, the pictures you've taken. That would be extremely helpful. And so I love how you've got it set up on there. I haven't seen another website like that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I worked really hard on that.
Well, good. You did a great job. You did a great job. Well, that's cool. I love how y'all you take your children everywhere, and that's usually one of the most favorable questions that we get. Now, before we do that, Chad wants to know: have you ran your full size in the Ozarks, and was that an issue for you? That's always a
yes,
question I see on Natural State.
yeah. We it's pretty surprising how tight some of the trails have been on that we get going down. I think, and we just rode with Adam Sandoval. He's a YouTuber, and we kind of took him and showed him some of the Ozark trails, and I don't think it's what he expected.
He's from Oklahoma, so I think maybe
Yeah,
it's not as
open up.
brushy
Yeah.
there. So if you care
Yeah.
about your paint job, it's probably not a great idea. But
Yeah,
for
look,
us, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, the thing that, and I tell everybody this, like, it doesn't matter what you're sitting in, it's just plastic and metal. It doesn't have a heartbeat. There's no sense in, like, if you're gonna overland and you're gonna off-road, you cannot worry about your paint. You can't worry about those things. You just have to go out and do it and have a good time. And anybody that, I just don't get it. Stay on the pavement if you're worried about scratching your paint. That's my philosophy. So if you're overlanding in the Ozarks in a full-size rig, you're gonna scratch it up.
You definitely are. You definitely are, and you may find yourself in a precarious position between a couple trees too. That will test your driving skills. I've been there before,
That's
done
right.
that. But when you talk to people out west that have never been to a place like the Ozarks, they don't understand.
No.
If you post a picture with, say, I had limb risers on my FJ, and these people commented, "What are those? And why do you need those?" Well, if you would come out here, you would know because our trails aren't like they are in California or Utah or Colorado where they're 15-foot wide and there's not a tree in sight.
And they just look cool.
It's different. Yeah, and they look cool. So and it gets people ask questions. So Lester said pinstripes are badges of honor. That's true. That's what we call them. And I agree with you because you just got to get out there and go. Now, I'm not a rock crawler by any means. I'm constantly worried about being able to drive back home. So especially when I drive 1,000 miles to Colorado, I'm very careful because I don't trailer my vehicle out there. I have to drive it home. So I am careful, but I'm not afraid to go. Not afraid to go at all. So yeah, I definitely understand. You just got to get out there and go.
So when we bought that Jeep, the very next day, we went rock crawling out of S'more in it and tore the power running boards off of it and the rear bumper.
We were gonna have to take those off anyway. They weren't working out.
We broke it in right, man. Like literally, I think it was within 10 hours of buying it brand new from the dealer. We had it on the trails of S'more, just tearing the crap out of it. So
I get it. I get it. And I think that's why Jeep makes their parts so easily to replace is because they know that people are going to do that right off the bat because that's why you buy one. So that's just part of it. But back to what we were talking about the kids, really like how you have taken it upon yourself to, as family oriented as you are, to take your kids with you and teach them the overlanding lifestyle and training up the new generation. How important is that to you to do that?
Connor, shut up. We're trying to film.
Yeah, I understand. Get out of here, you dirty kid. We're trying to talk about you.
They're nowhere near it. No, it's really important. I think with where we are, like as a society at this day and age, the life lessons that we can teach as parents and the things that our kids can learn from us far trump the things that they're learning in school. And I think that the number one thing you can really do is get out in nature and show them how people have survived for hundreds of years. And really just anything you do out in nature with kids is, I mean, it's so much healthier than being in front of a screen or things like that. And so we try to really limit that to usually when we're driving vehicles, which is a lot of time in itself. But
yeah, and I feel like people, like, we understand as adults that we're stressed in regular life, but kids today have such stressful lives. Everything is so high paced and crazy, and when you can disconnect them from everything, disconnect them from their responsibilities and their sports activities and all their homework, it just keeps them calmer. And people always say, like, your kids are so good, you know, why are they so calm, and like, you don't have to really get onto them ever. And it's because they've had those experiences. They're outside most of the time, and they kind of have that freedom to just be kids. So that's super important for us.
Yeah. How old are your kids now?
12
and 7.
Okay, 12 and 7. Now, with my job, I actually work with kids every day. So I work with anywhere from 9 to 13-year-olds. So I know exactly what you go through every day because I work with about 800 of them every single day. And the pressure that you talk about that's not something to take lightly. That's very real. I see it every day. You know, the kids have to believe that they have to have certain kind of clothes, certain kind of shoes, certain friends, you know, and the pressure that they have to perform is overwhelming sometimes. And being able to get them out into a place where they can just live free, I think is great for children. Now, apparently, it's obvious as much as you travel, they do travel well. But do they like going as much as you do? Are they growing to love it?
Yeah, I think that there's certain things that get each of them excited because they're so different. For instance, Clara loves going to Florida, which I guess they both do. But I would say if she could pick anywhere, that's where she would want to go. But yeah, I mean, I think location gets them more excited than the travel to get there.
They don't like being in the vehicle really, but they love to go places. Like they want to get out. Anytime we stop, they want to get out and explore the creeks or look for rocks and things and climb on everything. Like that's just the way they are.
Thank you, David, for bringing that up. I wish I had that picture of the back to school red underoos.
The Facebook world is, you know, that's one thing that's really changed for me. Like Facebook before was just like friends, you know, and like people I know, and now I would say more of our followers from social media. But I'm never going to change. So if you don't want to see me the way I am, which you know that if you watch our channel, I mean, I can't help it. Brandy sometimes probably cuts some stuff out.
Yeah, I do. A little bit too much.
But yeah, it's just me.
I get that just about every day. You know, my wife says, I never know what's going to come out of your mouth. I can't take you anywhere. She's always apologizing to everybody. And this time right here is the only time I get to say and do what I want because she's not in here.
Lock the door.
And she'll probably comment here in a minute for me to watch my mouth, I'm sure. But I totally get it. And, you know, my goal when my kids were your age, my total goal in life was to embarrass them as much as possible. I wanted to embarrass them because, you know, it was just fun to me. I don't know. I just like it. But that's the way it works. So how does your setup work with your kids? Tell me a little bit about your setup when you go overlanding. Where does everybody sleep? Different things like that.
So right now, you know, when we ground camp, we all just sleep together. But our primary overlanding setup in here is we sleep in a rooftop tent on top of the truck in case there's any bears. And the kids sleep down below on bunk beds on the ground.
Yeah, their feet. Bear feet.
Yeah, and then if there's a bear attack, that gives us time to climb through the sunroof and get out of there.
Right, exactly.
But no, it works well. And going back to what you said just a minute ago about like instilling things in kids, like that's something, you know, Brandy and I are a team with everything. So when we clean up camp, when we put camp together, and that's probably the kids hate, they dread having, we make them put their own bunk beds together and start setting up. So now they're kind of getting their part of the routine down, which is a responsibility that, you know they got to set their beds up. I know there's been camping trips where they're like, we'll just sleep on the ground.
Yeah.
So those bunk beds are kind of a pain in the butt. So, I get it. But the rooftop tent and all the crap that we drag out for one night is way more of a pain in the butt. So, but no, that's our setup now. And then when we travel in our big rig and we pull the Jeep behind the motorhome, I built a couple of bunk beds in our motorhome and pulled the old sofa out of it. And so they have bunk beds in the motorhome. And actually everywhere they go, they pretty much got bunk beds. So we need to build bunk beds at home.
That's great. Well, one of the things that I love to do when we go out and camp, overland, whatever, is to cook. Who does all the cooking? Who is the cook of the two?
He's a better cook than me. I cook at home, but I don't know, I'm scared of new things. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure when we're out camping. So I kind of cook the sides and he cooks the meat.
Yeah, I would
usually
say that I'm kind of the meal planner when we camp.
Yeah.
And then you just cook.
You're kind of the life planner. He kind of runs the show and I follow along and do what I need to.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I like to think that my specialty is camp cooking, like just grilling in general. I mean, at home I grill, and when we're camping I grill, and I'm always like, I'm the guy that, like, even whenever I do cook at the house, I don't follow any instructions, I don't read any books, I just dump enough crap in there until it tastes good, and it's actually worked out pretty well for me to this point. And so I carry that same philosophy to the camp when we go camping, and then Brandy kind of, she'll try to make some rice on a grill.
I'll overthink it and overstress, and then it'll be awful. No, I cook like the same sides every time because that's what I know how to cook for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, yeah. What is your favorite method? I've seen you cook on what is it, a fire disc?
Yeah. So okay. So fire disc, and we love the fire disc, and that thing is awesome, but it's got a problem. It's huge.
It's huge.
It is huge.
So heavy.
It's heavy.
It is huge.
And they just haven't thought that whole process through with overlanding. But that's not really their crowd. Yeah. And I think they kind of got out of their comfort zone a little bit and sent that thing to us. And what we've done with it now is we've put it in our motorhome because it's big. The motorhome's big, so we can take it with us. So there's going to be more cooking on that. But I mean, that thing probably weighs 120 pounds, and
it's big.
But it's like hardcore. Like we can put it in there and never have to worry about it breaking over. Like Connor's gonna cook for his grandkids on that thing. I mean,
we were playing baseball with the spatula that came with. So, it's heavy duty, but
okay. My favorite thing is the tailgate and go. I love it so much.
Yeah, I knew you were waiting to be able to talk.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing in the world, and I
hope Taylor is watching.
Okay, yeah, I hope she is too. Yeah. But I'm not like a money spender, and I don't like go and get gadgets and stuff. That's kind of his thing. But he got this thing, and I love it so much because everything is so organized, and all the things have a place, and you just pop it open, and you have a whole kitchen out of nowhere. Yeah. It's the best thing ever, and it has a little grill on it that we cook on, and it's just nice.
Yeah, it is. It's made cooking at camp for sure different. Mm-hmm. Like we can actually wash our dishes in a sink and stuff too, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
I would say
very well thought out.
Yeah, it is
very well thought out.
I mean, they're kind of pricey, but at the end of the day, it's like a storage box, and you put everything in that. Not to mention, it's your kitchen whenever you do bust it out. So it's worked really well. But I would say the thing that I like doing the most, and when the kids are involved, is cooking stuff over the fire. There's nothing quite like cooking your meal over an open fire and just like a grate above it. And I remember growing up, we didn't do it very often, but when we did do it, it was memorable. So those to me are probably the coolest times. And it usually tastes the best because you got like campfire smoke in your food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My wife always says we eat better when we camp than we do at home. And that's true. That's true because I do put a lot more thought into it. When we're at home, we're just banging something out just so we can sit down and crash because we're just wore out. But when I'm at camp, I'm in my element, and I get all my stuff out and I puff my chest out because I'm the griller, and
well, you've only got a few things to do. It's like you plan breakfast, then you plan lunch, then you plan
yeah.
The rest of the time you're just hanging out.
That could be my whole day every day. I plan breakfast, I sit down, drink coffee, and I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do for lunch, and then I get up and cook lunch, and then I sit down and think about what I'm gonna do for dinner. I mean, that's my whole day. I could do that every day.
He's not eating breakfast.
That's exactly right. And that's just part of it. That's the part of it that makes it so enjoyable because you don't have anything else to do. You can just get out and just let yourself go. One of the things that we do talk about on the show is safety. Now, when you have your kids out, do you have rules around camp for them in order to keep them safe? How do you figure safety into your travel?
So, my big thing on that is, with kids, to me, the longer leash you give them, the more responsible they're going to be. And if you keep a leash too tight, that's when you'll have, rebellious issues. So with the kids, and when it comes to that, I try to teach them right and wrong, and then more or less let them make their own decisions. So, I think when Connor was 2, I had my first, campfire with him, and he burned his hand, and he may have been older than that, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think he was about 3.
Yeah, but either way, so I made sure to, and I knew that was going to happen. I mean, it wasn't a bad burn, but and ever since then, he's respected the campfire, and he's respected. He doesn't play in it. We have a nephew, and he is a firebug, and he's always flinging fire sticks around, and coals are going flying everywhere. And shout out to Reagan if you're watching. Hollywood just tried to call me a little bit ago. So no, though, to me, it's like it's important to kind of teach them that what's right and wrong, and then let them make their own mistakes. So we don't really go around with the switches and things like that. And I'm
so
definitely more lenient than you.
Yeah, you're definitely more lenient, but they're so familiar with everything. I mean, if they understand what's safe and what's not, they're not going to wander off in the woods because they know it's dangerous.
Right.
So we don't ever have to really tell them; they just know now because they've grown up learning these things. So.
Yeah, and Connor's like an old soul.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably more mature than I am, and I mean, he thinks
there's a lot of people out there agreeing with you right now.
Yeah. That's what keeps it fun, though. A little immaturity and a little smile, and that'll go a long way.
You're right.
But no, they're both great, and we don't have to get onto them much, so
that's good.
Works out well.
Well, I appreciate you talking about that. We definitely want to stress safety everywhere we go, any time that we go. And Aaron Paris with Switchback Outdoor Safety offers a safety minute, and we call it that because it's about safety, and it lasts about a minute. So here we go.
Hey, this is Aaron Paris with Switchback Outdoor Safety, and we've been talking in this series about items you should have in your trauma kit. One item that's often overlooked is trauma shears. Trauma shears are great because they allow you to access the wound and care for the patient adequately. When you have clothing or equipment that's in the way, the easiest way to do it is to cut it off. And so we always encourage you to have a good set of safety shears to go ahead and remove that clothing so you can treat the wounds appropriately.
I love Aaron because he always comes on and talks about things that we need to have, but we hope we never use. And if you are out there and you are in the medical field, I know every single one of you love trauma shears because that's the first thing they do is cut all your clothes off when something happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. So anyway, join the fun. Get some safety shears. Thank you, Aaron, for throwing that in there. Now, we do have some comments and questions that have come on here. And I really want to go into this next topic and talk about where's your next trip?
That's a tough one.
Come on. I know you've been thinking about it.
That's the problem. There's too many trips on mine, and it's, we're talking Yellowstone, but we're creeping up on dates when we're needing to be and obligations, and I don't know. It's hard to say where the next trip is. We've got several in mind. We've got Yellowstone in mind. We've got getting out to like Montana. We want to get out there and do some stuff. And we'd like to get to Northern California or, whatever you want to call it right now. But we're kind of worried about, doing the traveling there. So we may put that on the back burner. We'd like to do Arizona and get out there and do some desert stuff. Maybe this winter do that. But I would say the best chance right now is probably Yellowstone and being our next trip.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've been to Yellowstone once, and it was actually in January during the winter. It was incredible. Everything was covered in about 3 feet of snow, so it was completely different. And you rode snowmobiles everywhere. It was an incredible, incredible experience. Um, and I would love to go back when everything's green, but that seems to be when all the people are there, and so I'm torn, and because I don't like going where people are. So
Yeah.
that's
Gotta
the
find a
one
trail.
thing about going to national parks.
Yeah, it's a tourist spot for sure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, though. Beautiful place. Definitely a memorable place. Definitely a place you want to take your kids. That's for sure. Now, tell me where have been your favorite trips that you've taken so far? What's highest on the list of places that you've been so far?
Utah for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Look, I love Colorado, and we've done a lot of trips to Colorado. Actually, we've done more trips to Colorado than probably anywhere other than Florida. And Utah, it's just something different about Utah. Like we went to Utah when COVID started.
March 2020.
Yeah. And we got kicked out of so many different counties in Utah, I couldn't even begin to tell you. But it's like, we're not going to turn around and drive home. We're out in the middle of nowhere. If there's a pandemic, like, leave us alone. The only people we
You're in the
saw
best
was
place you possibly could
That's
be.
right.
Yeah.
The only people we saw was the sheriffs that kept coming out and trying to run us off of BLM territory. And I told them that. And it was crazy because they were corralling everybody and making everybody that was out in primitive camps, they were making them go into RV parks. Like, it didn't make any sense. The whole thing was a joke. We ended up finding a loophole where we could camp in one county that allowed primitive camping, but you couldn't ride off-road there. But in the county next door, which was the where Moab is, you could off-road, but you couldn't camp. So we would camp in the one county, and then we'd hightail it across the county line to go off-roading every day, so we were legal to do it. But that, even with the experience from that, and I think we probably experienced Moab like nobody ever has, because there was nobody there. We were the only ones in Utah.
Wow.
And, so yeah, that trip takes the cake for me.
Because everywhere you look is so different than anything around here. I think that's what was most striking. Everything was just completely different. So just really memorable.
Yeah, the mountains were always off in the distance. Like no matter what, 360 degrees, you had these beautiful
when we
mountains.
had snow, then we had like these red mountains on the same day. It's just like so much in one area. So and even not in Moab, but just around it was amazing. So
that's true. Big Sky Country is definitely the place for me. I like to be able to see forever. I want to be able to see a long ways, and that's not something that you can do in Missouri and Arkansas. I mean, you have to drive up to a little bitty, we call them mountains out there. They would call them hills, to be able to see. But out there, you can see everywhere you go. Every corner you turn is just beautiful, something new. And a lot of people say, "Oh, once you've seen one red rock, you've seen them all." Well, I totally disagree. I totally disagree. You can go to Arches, you can go to Canyonlands, you can go to the Valley of the Gods, you can go to all those different places, and they're all so different and so beautiful.
I think we went to pretty much everywhere we could while we were out there. A lot of stuff was closed, the national park stuff mostly. So
yeah, that's crazy, and I really hope things die down and it doesn't get that way again, because it'll really put a damper on a lot of things.
It's up to us if it gets that way again.
That's right.
We the people.
We the people. That's right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But now, David said I'd like to see him up north at Core. I was able to take a motorcycle trip this summer to the Upper Peninsula. Have y'all ever been to the Upper Peninsula?
Not even familiar with where he's talking about.
My mom lived in Lansing for a long time, so
okay.
The only place in Michigan
Okay. Well, the area between Lake Michigan and Lake Superior is called the Upper Peninsula, and it's all national forest. And of course, we were on road bikes, so every little road that I saw, I was like, "Man, I wonder where that goes. I wonder where that goes. I wonder where that goes." Because it's just like being at the ocean, but it's not hot, and that's what I liked about it. We were up there in July, and we wore jackets every day. I mean, it was amazing. So beautiful. Now, I did see that y'all did some camping at the beach. What beach did you camp at?
So that was at Padre Island, And that was an amazing trip in its own way. But camping in the beach is not all it's made out to be.
You've got to be really ready for it. Like,
because of the wind.
I don't know if you're ever ready for rolling around in sand in your bed, in your tent.
Okay,
Sand.
Well, a list of all the things we needed next time, and the top of the list was lots of fresh water, so we could wash off completely before we got in the tent. Because it was crazy.
Us too. Sand and wind. That's what we experienced more than anything at the beach. And we found out real quick that our bulldog drank all of our water while we were there. So we actually had to pay some people that were just out for the day to run to the store and get us a case of water. Because it was
go through it out
pretty
there.
bad.
The sun is a whole different ballgame there than it is in Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of like it's right here. It's right here on
right.
you, and it's just cooking you.
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it's beach, and that was a compromise for me and my wife because I want to camp and she likes the beach. So we decided to go to the beach, and this was in October, and it was fun. We had a great time, but man, the wind. Golly.
Yeah, the wind was crazy. But, and going back to the kids thing, it was another one of those experiences where it's like we got them out on the beach at nighttime. We did some crab hunting. And so, everything that we usually try to do, we try to make the most of it and memorable things for them. Not just the YouTube memories, but, just having the memories. One of these days we won't be around and they'll be able to remember all these fun things they did. So that's
true.
important to me.
That's true. Very true. Well, let's talk about what your future plans are for Off-Road Recon. What do you have in store for us coming up in the next 6 months, year down the road?
It's hard to say. We plan to grow the brand. We plan to do more of what we've been doing. We're up to our ears in footage right now. We just need more time. And time is your most valuable asset. And we just don't have, it'll really open a lot more opportunities for us when it becomes a full-time thing. And for me, and actually Brandy both, if we had, jobs that give us a little more freedom where we work remote more, but right now we're just not in really a remote employment position. And who knows, maybe in the very near future that'll happen. If my boss is watching, I'm talking to you. But anyway, no, so everything's up in the air right now. We try to take it day by day and do as many of these trips as like before we go crazy, because with it being as fun as it is, at the same time it is. I mean, just imagine. I mean, and anybody knows when you do this. By the end of your trip, you're like, man, I can't wait to get home to rest. But imagine doing that every single weekend, trying to get footage. So I think we're on a pretty good routine on it now, and but who knows? Time will tell. Could change tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I know. I definitely know that the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you're able to enjoy yourself. When you just start out and you're trying to get things going, and you want to make it good, because if it's not good, nobody's going to watch.
That's right.
But the better you get at it, the more time that you have to do the things that you enjoy, sit back, relax, do whatever. But then when you come home, you got to go to your regular job, and then you have to edit the video and try to put it out and get it out there for everybody, and do your website, all in that. How is that handling that with family, careers, and trying to do all that? It's hard to juggle all that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the partnership between Brandy and
I don't know how anybody could work a full-time job and have a YouTube channel. Like, he was kind of doing it all at the beginning because I was in school, and it was just, I didn't have any time, and I don't know how he did it all that first few months by himself, because it's insane. So I always think like our secret weapon is that there's both of us. Like, everything we do is kind of split in half work, so it makes it a lot more manageable, but it's still a lot. We just work hard all the time.
Yeah.
So
and we're just busy. We're busy bodies anyway, but just staying busy.
Yeah.
Stay busy at work and stay busy at home. And then whenever you go on vacation, stay busy on vacation. Because we're even editing and putting out videos while we're on vacation now. We just did this last Colorado trip. We put 2 videos out while we were like in the motorhome and traveling. And so, yeah, I mean, it just in the YouTube algorithm has really been a pain in the butt for us. And, you know, it's not about quality, it's about quantity with them. And you just got to keep pushing content. We're trying to do 2 videos a week now, and we were just doing 1 episode. And so, you know, it's just a juggling act, really.
Yeah. Are you going to concentrate on one thing, like in the future? Or are you going to branch out? Are you going to do some product reviews, or are you just going to do trips and things like that? Where do you see it coming?
You know, I did never want to be that channel that tried to latch on to any certain thing that might make a video go viral, right? Like I wanted to do our own thing and have my whole dream when I started this channel was to have a show that you could turn on your TV and sit down and watch it for 30 minutes like you watch Gold Diggers. Or what's that show called? Is it Gold Diggers?
I don't know. It sounds really exciting.
any one of those shows.
I think it's called Gold Rush.
Gold Rush, that's it. See, he's probably a hero.
Yeah, there's a song about gold diggers. That's a little different, just a little different.
I was getting my music and my TV shows mixed up. But no, anyway, so, you know, we wanted to, and what I wanted to do is have something that you could sit down and enjoy for 30 minutes and want to tune in every week and see that. And, you know, and I don't want to go off on a YouTube tangent, but it's their algorithms don't favor that. Their algorithms favor, you know, 10 or 11-minute videos, you know, 4 or 5 times a week. It doesn't matter the quality of the video or what you're doing, and it wants keywords in there about the new hottest topic. And I had 3 videos go viral in the last 2 weeks because I've been following their rules. And I mean, one of them had 11,000 views on it in a matter of a couple hours. And we've never seen any kind of traction like that before, but it's because we were putting out the content that we wanted to put out. And now we're doing these shorts and these other things. And we've had some of our, you know, longtime viewers say, we don't care about the shorts. We want to see the episodes. And I promise we're going to continue to do the episodes because that's where our passion is anyway. But we have to be able to grow the channel to make everything make sense financially. And, you know, I guess we just got to do whatever we got to do right now to make that happen.
Well, there is
from bikini shots. I'm not putting myself in a bikini.
Well, there is a little bit of give and take, you know, especially if you want to use it as an income, but then on the other hand, you want to tell your life story. And so you have to, you know, be true to yourself, but also if it's going to become your job, then, you know, there's a little give and take there, and it's a little difficult to try to balance all that out.
Yeah. We just, you know, it's a lot of work, and the support that we get, and I know that all YouTubers say this, but it really does. It makes a difference when you're going through comments and somebody tells you, a perfect stranger tells you how much they love your episodes or how much they love your personality or really any of those things. Like, you know, our avid viewers and some of our true fans, you know, they say nicer things than our family will say. I don't even know how much of our episodes our families even watch because they don't even know what we're doing most of the time. So it's like, we have this new family of all these YouTube people that are watching our episodes, and they're really supportive, and that's really nice for us.
Yeah. I always call my mom and say, hey, Mom, do you have a clue where I'm at? And she was like, no, she never knows where I'm at. Well, you know, if you would watch my videos or follow me on social media, you'd know where I'm at. Well, I expect you to call me and tell me where you're at. So, you know, it's parents and family are.
And I don't for all the family members that do watch most of our episodes, we do have a lot of them too. Grandma Landon and my dad tunes in on most episodes. So there's a lot of people that do, and they've been really supportive. So I don't want to. They're probably watching right now and texting me. So no,
they're trying to type out that comment real quick. They just can't get it out.
I've had like 11 calls since we've been in here, and every person acts like they don't know that we're streaming live, but I know they got to be watching. They're probably just trying to get on our stream here.
Oh, that's great. Well, tell us some. I know you've got some events planned that you're going to be at. Tell us. I know there's a Jeep event coming up. Tell us a little bit about that, where people can come out and see you.
Yeah. So Jeeps on the Mountain is probably our next event. We were going to go up to the Smoky Mountains this weekend and do that thing up there, but some prior obligations we got going on, so we can't do that. But that's really the next one on our radar, and we're really kind of focused on, honestly, getting a new rig and doing all this is really kind of put the focus on being here right now, and kids starting school and stuff like that. So we're really kind of getting in the driveway and doing more video shooting right here, doing equipment and things like that on the rig. So that's really the only, I think we've got that and Yellowstone that are really on our radar right now.
The only event this year that we have is Jeeps on the Mountain before 20.
Yeah, and obviously we'll be at more. You know, we'll have Chris
Right.
and we'll have more, and so we'll be there every year until Chris passes away.
Well, he's pretty young. That may take a while.
He might be a little older
I got
than
my
me.
new More 22
I see
poster
that.
up here. So he sent that to me to be my background. So April 8th through the 10th, 2022. Make sure that you put that on your calendar. The
I don't
biggest
know, though,
and
man.
best.
We had a featured rig, but it's not on that poster.
It's not on that
we
poster?
got so many rigs to pick from now. They could have put any of those up there.
All of them
You
on
know,
the poster.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they couldn't get at least one of
It's
your
great.
vehicles in there. I mean,
Oh, I
goodness
support
gracious.
this guy.
I'll have a talk with him about that.
Yeah.
I'll have a talk with him. Well, hey, we you said it won't take much to get an hour. We're right at an hour, so we've it's just flown by. It's been crazy how we've got to an hour this quick. Tell everybody where they can find you on your website and social media.
Yeah, so Road Recon is blood, sweat, and tears we've been pouring into that thing. Like, we worked so hard on that website to make it a really enjoyable experience. And from that website, you can get to all of our YouTube videos and our YouTube channel and do all that stuff. But ultimately, subscribe to us on YouTube. Check our Off-Road Recon website out. But we have a subscription plan that we've just launched recently, you really just started it really just supports us, guys, because we want to take off and do this thing. And we're trying to give something back on that. So there's going to be exclusive offers, and there already has been, and giveaways for the people that. And the subscription service on our website is $10 a month, and you can subscribe and unsubscribe whenever you want, and you'll be included in raffles and giveaways. And
you can also download all our Gaia maps.
All of our Gaia maps, and we put a ton of effort into them. We tell you where you can camp and how many rigs you can camp there, and take pictures of it, and all over the world, in Colorado and Utah and Missouri and Arkansas. And so just, if you don't care about anything else and you want some good Gaia maps, you can get them there also.
Not really all over the world, though. That was an exaggeration. Just in this country.
Whatever.
Hey, all over the world. All over the world.
You never know, or we could be somewhere in another country next year.
Never
know.
know.
We're going to go through British Columbia when we're headed to Alaska, so might have to just prove her wrong on that one.
That's right. You'll be international then. You'll be off-road international recon. It'll be crazy. You'll have to change the name and everything.
Yeah, get a jet.
Yeah, get a jet. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all so much for coming on here and sharing with us a little bit about yourself, and helping us get to know you a little better, and especially me. I even if it was just for me, we have had people watching. If you can't see that, there are people watching other than myself. So thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to let your kids do whatever they want to do in the house, and you come out and I hope the house isn't on fire or anything like that.
Looks
so maybe when you go back in, everything will be just fine.
Yeah.
Well, hey, y'all stick around, and I just want to tell everybody who's watching, thank you for being here. There was 1,000 places you could be, but you chose to be here. Thank you for watching. Watch out for number 1, and don't step in number 2. Have a great week.
And maybe don't stop.
Thank you for watching
BROfessor
BROfessor and Friends.
Sponsored by
Bye.